Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Holly with Colorful Crafting, and I kind of decided to do an impromptu whip and chat. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm up in my bedroom, and I decided to sort of change things up a little bit and show you the other project that I'm working on, the one that I've been primarily doing at night before I go to sleep, the problem child. I've been having a lot of difficulty with this canvas, and I have a story to go along with it, so I thought it would be, it would make more sense to be working on the project that I'm talking about. So, yeah, I just have this really basic setup in here when I'm doing this. I bought a second tilted lap desk. If I didn't have everything like clipped down, I would take it apart and show it to you, but I'll leave a link to it in the drop down box. It's the best. I love it. I have two of them now. I use one downstairs, and I'm using this one up here. And my main project that I was working on is huge, and it holds it just fine, and it holds my my A3 light pad. Great. So I have that, and then I have my smaller light pad, my A4, and I just have it on like a TV table, a TV table that I have in my room. And then as far as like drill storage, nothing fancy. I just use masking tape. The one good thing I can say about this kit is that they used all letters. It doesn't have very many colors. I think there's like 14 colors or something, 13 colors. But yeah, so very basic. And I have to apologize before we get started. I realize the angle is going to be really not the best because I'm a righty, and I realize that as I'm drilling, all you're going to see is my hand. But I spent about 15 minutes trying to figure out an angle where you could see this at the same time as having place for my tripod and everything. And this is the best I could do, people, so we're just gonna have to go with it. Anyway, yeah, so I hope everybody had a great week. Let me know if any of you have any plans for the weekend. Me, not really. I hope to get a lot of diamond painting and also reading accomplished, because number one, I'm officially on vacation now. Yay! Today was my first day. It's gonna be a staycation. I have no plans, really. As long as I get to stay away from work, I am a happy girl. Yeah, so I did a bit of cleaning today and organizing and straightening up and doing a bunch of stuff that I normally don't have time to do during the regular week. So I feel a sense of accomplishment on my first day, and that's always a good thing. It takes the pressure off. Because I don't know about you, but if I take time off of work and I don't get a bunch of things accomplished, I feel it was kind of like wasted time or something. I know, I'm weird. I'm fully aware. Yeah, okay. So, let's get started talking about the canvas. Because you know me, I tend to babble, and I'm probably going to try and keep this whip and chat relatively short tonight because I'm tired. Okay. Okay, so I did an unboxing for this. It is the Sugar Skull elephant, and I was super excited to get it because it was one of those things where I didn't have the best experience with the shop, because it took forever and a year, and the tracking wasn't updating. It said it never even left China, and I had been waiting for over a month, and it still said it was still sitting in China. And the shop was really getting an attitude with me, and granted, I think it was probably a language barrier, but I was really happy when they came in, and I was really excited, and this thing has just, it's trying my patience, people. It's really trying my patience. I don't know if I've just been what's the word, spoiled with Diamond Art Club or what, but yeah, the drills have been problematic, putting it mildly, especially the 310s, as you can see from this as well as this. there is a lot of 310s. And normally I don't mind doing 310s. I'm perfectly fine. I like color blocking. I find it very relaxing normally. But these 310s about made me lose my mind, okay? They're all different sizes. They all have little knobs on them. I couldn't, and the adhesive on here is terrible. I mean, there's spots that are good and sticky, and then there's spots that have little to no adhesive. So I'm putting stuff on here and they're falling off. Yeah. So I made a post on one of my groups, or one of the groups I belong to, on Facebook, saying, you know what, I think I pretty much have given up. I'm doing J, and I just saw a whole bunch of J's. There we are. I pretty much have given up on this project because, see, I'm gonna have to hold this because of the way they're going down. It's far from ideal. Yeah, I've pretty much given up on my project because the drills are terrible, the canvas is problematic, the colors are wonky. I mean, I don't know how well you can see this. Like I said, my setup is less than ideal tonight, but let me move this, see if I can get you closer. Oh, okay. Oh my god. Alright, well you can, this is the beginning of the elephant. Like there's his foot, and this beginning of his ear. Okay? I don't know if you can see the colors, but they're like greens and browns. Yeah. And this doesn't look like a foot. The only reason I knew it was a foot was because I know how the picture's supposed to, what the picture's supposed to look like. Those don't look like toes. And I know, everybody says it's meant to see from far away. I can stand in, like, sorry for the shakiness. I could stand in Yankee Stadium and look, and it's still not gonna look like a foot to me. I'm sorry. But as you can see, these are greens or browns, and he's supposed to be gray, like shades of gray. So that was frustrating to me. So I posted on a couple of the groups that I belong to, and listed off, you know, the problems that I was having and blah blah blah. Again, I'm sorry for the angle. And all these people started commenting, and they're like, don't give up, you have to trust in the process. Again, saying they're meant to be seen from far away, you haven't done that much of it. And they were being, no, they were being incredibly like supportive and nice. I'm not complaining that people told me to keep going. I don't want to give that impression because I'm not. They were being very like encouraging, which I appreciated. And so because of them, I have decided to try and keep going with this. At least until I get a better idea of what the elephant is going to look like. Because as of right now, that's all I see. So maybe once I get, like, because this is just a 30 by 30, I knew it wasn't going to be super detailed. I'm not looking for that much detail, but I would like it to somewhat resemble the thumbnail. I don't know if that's being too greedy. Yeah. Anyway, so because of those lovely people, I've decided to give it another try. Because one of my big things is I hate not finishing things. Because, like, when I was really super into coloring, I feel like I'm doing like a word search, because this is like, this all is so much confetti, you guys. Yeah. I felt like when I was doing the coloring, I was constantly starting projects and then not finishing them. And that was part of the reason why I became sort of disillusioned with that craft, because I was enjoying it, but then there was all the drama. I didn't feel like I was accomplishing very much. So one of the things I love about diamond painting is that I feel like I accomplish more. Because I enjoy it so much, I can literally sit and just diamond paint all day. and I'm perfectly fine. The exception of being in pain. I don't know if I've ever talked about this on my channel, but like a lot of people who seem to have picked up this hobby, I do suffer from chronic pain. I have a bad knee, which occurred when I fell off of our porch probably about 10 years ago during an ice storm, and landed right on my knee, and it never healed properly. Oh, there we go. Well, that was lucky because there was a J right where I flipped that drill up on my canvas. Yeah, so my knee for a long time would only bother me occasionally. Like, you know, typical story, when the weather was changing or when there was going to be rain, my knee would ache a little bit. But I would say over the last like 3 or 4 years, maybe a little less, my knee, it's, you know, to some degree, pretty much always hurts. Then I developed sciatica, which is so much fun. I'm sure you guys can relate because I know I watch a few channels with people who suffer from sciatica as well. It is probably one of the most uncomfortable sensations a person can have, because especially when you're having a really bad flare-up, you just can't do anything. At least it's this way for me. When it gets bad, I can't sit down, I can't lay down. It goes away a little bit if I walk around for a while, but as soon as I try to lay down or sit up or sit down or something, or even stop walking, it hurts really bad. And yeah, so I am grateful because that is the extent of my chronic pain, really. I know things could be way, 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 way worse. I know a lot of people have it way worse than I do. And I try to remind myself of that when things get really bad and I kind of get down and depressed, and just think about, you know, every day I wake up, I'm in pain in some way. And it gets to you after a while, as I'm sure people who go through it can relate. And I honestly think that that's part of the reason why my anxiety and my depression sort of reared its head once again after being relatively under control for a very long time. I think that's part of it because, you know, when you're in pain, you don't feel like doing stuff that you used to like to do before, you know? Like, one of my favorite things to do when I was younger, makes me sound like an old lady, I know, but I loved going to concerts. I could go to there was one month where I think I went to like 5 or 6 concerts in that month, and I worked full time. Didn't bother me at all. I was perfectly fine. I was tired, but I had a blast doing it. But yeah, I could never do that anymore. It's like, I have to really, really love a performer to go now. It has to be a show. Well, I can't say it has to be. I will say, unless I absolutely, positively love the artist, I would have to have a seat. Well, for many reasons. That's a whole discussion right there that we could get into, because one of my things is that I don't like being in crowds. So you'd think, if you don't like being in crowds, why would you like going to concerts? I don't like having a lot of people surrounding me. So if it's a show that's general admission where you don't have a seat, it makes me very anxious. I had one experience. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those nights where I just jump all around from subject to subject, but you guys, I've been making these WIP and chats long enough that you're probably used to that by now. Sorry, I'm trying to, I guess you can see it. All right. You probably are used to me jumping from topic to topic at this point. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, okay. So this is a prime example. This is when, because back in the day, I didn't like general admission shows, but I would go to them. I always preferred having a seat. But if it was somebody I wanted to see, and that was the only thing I could get, it wouldn't stop me from getting a general admission ticket. So all that pretty much changed. I would say probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I got tickets to see the Killers at a casino in Atlantic City. They played the Borgata. And that particular year, it was the middle of summer, and the Borgata decided that they were going to open up an outdoor music venue. They were very excited about it. They had these big acts all playing, and I had never seen the Killers before, and they were one of my favorite bands. So I thought it would be awesome to see them and awesome to go to like this big open air thing. So long story short, too late. Get there really, really, really early because it's general admission. I'm short. Stage is not raised that high. I figured, you know, we get there pretty early. We might actually get a good spot, be able to see the stage. You know, it'll be an experience. It'll be an all-day experience. Well, we get there early. It's the middle of July. Temperature was close to 100 degrees. We didn't want to drink too much because, you know, once you get inside, it's general admission, it's pretty difficult to go and find a bathroom. We didn't eat anything, so we ended up being in line for the show for probably, let me see, what time did I get there? I got there about noon because the gates were opening. They originally told us that the gates were going to open at like 4 or something. I can't remember. But this was in my, you know, we'll go, we'll make a day of it, we'll hang out, you know, we'll meet people, we'll talk to people. That was the intention. Didn't quite work out that way. But anyway, we were in line for hours and hours in the July heat. And it didn't help matters that security was just ridiculous. There was chaos when they finally started to let people in. Everybody started pushing and shoving. I got pushed and shoved and got separated from my friend. And I ended up in the front by the stage. Oh, God. Every time I look at the camera, my hand is just, it's just my hand. My ginormous giant hand. That's why I'm doing this like really slow. Yeah, so I ended up getting pushed up towards the stage. And I did end up in the front row, which is awesome, you know. Front row for one of your favorite bands that you've never seen before. Amazing. Only problem is that it was such a traumatic experience for me. I had never been in that kind of like mad dash anywhere. I just got caught up in all these people just freaking pushing and shoving and just, it was insane. I've never experienced anything like that. And the Killers fans, there's some hardcore dudes and dudettes. So by the time, I guess it was just, I was going off of adrenaline and I was okay. Until maybe like 20 minutes later, I started not to feel so good. And I was still separated from my friend. I didn't know where she was at. So I didn't know anybody that was around me. started to get a little anxious. And then the next thing, and it was incredibly hot. I mean, incredibly hot and humid. And started not to feel good. And then the next thing I know, I started seeing black spots in front of my eyes. And I didn't even have time to register what was happening before sorry, I thought I heard somebody in the hallway. Yeah, it didn't even register what was happening until all of a sudden, from like far away, I hear somebody saying, she's going down, get security. And I'm like, what's going on? And then I realized that I was in the process of passing out. I was like leaning on the people behind me and they were holding me up. So I managed to sort of get my wits about me again. I did discover that there were on top, you know, besides the like savages, they were just like stampeding to the front. There were some actually genuinely nice people, because 2 people actually pushed their way out of the crowd to go and get me a bottle of water. And somebody else came up and gave me like a box of, I think, animal crackers or something. So I thought that was nice. But ever since that show, I do not do general admission anymore. My general admission days are over. And I'm fine with that. Yeah. I don't even remember how I got started talking about that. Oh, about the chronic pain, yeah. Last summer, I went to see 30 Seconds to Mars and Walk the Moon, two more of my favorite bands. And it was an outdoor venue in the summer, but I had a seat and I was perfectly fine. And it was covered. The part that I was at, where my seat was, there was a cover, so I was fine. And it wasn't anywhere nearly as hot as it was when I had gone to see the Killers. But, now here. I was just getting ready to say I think I'm done with the Jays. But no. Now, next month I am supposed to be going to Atlantic City again to see 21 Pilots at the convention center. And I'm excited, but kind of nervous. I usually get nervous before a show, only because, like I said, I don't like big crowds, but once I'm there and the show is going, I'm fine. So, haven't really been talking about diamond painting very much in this video, have I? Oh God, I just talk about having a squirrel brain, I swear. Let's see what else is going. Oh, okay. On the subject of diamond paintings. So, as some of you may know, I've kind of been feeling a little overwhelmed by my big WIP that I've been working on for the last pretty much a month now, I guess, which is I Miss You, Mandy Manzano from Diamond Art Club. Now, don't get me wrong. I really, really love the piece. It's gorgeous. I'm doing it in memory of my parents. But it's like, like I said, I've been working on it for about a month. And I feel like I've accomplished very, very little on it. And like, cause I could sit there for hours and hours and hours and just diamond paint, and I'll step back and I'll look at it and it just seems like I haven't done anything. And I know it's not a race. I know 50 million people say that in videos all the time. That might be a slight exaggeration, but you get my meaning. But yeah, I know it's not a race. Some people take months and months to finish paintings, but I don't know, I like the feeling of working on something, enjoying working on it, but also the feeling of accomplishment when you get it completed, which is why, for the time being, I'm not ordering any big canvases. I placed another order with AliExpress about a week ago, and I think the biggest one of the regular ones that I ordered was like a 40 by 50 or 30 by 40, something like that. Now I've ordered a total of 3 customs. I think I've already talked about that. I can't remember. One of the bad things about just jumping all over the place and talking and not really remembering what you're talking about and talking about several different subjects is that you kind of lose track of what you've covered in videos. So the Cliff Notes version is that I have ordered 3 customs, 2 from Huacan and 1 from Evermoment. Kind of, you know, I've been watching Ella kicking cancer's butt and diamond painting Ella. I've been watching a lot of her videos lately, and it's so funny. I think like the day after I placed my custom order, I watched a video by her where she's talking about how you don't need to get the biggest size. You know, it's not always that important to have a lot of detail in your pictures. And I'm like, now I see this. Because of course with my customs, all 3 of them I got really big sizes. But yeah, so after I get those, I'm not going to be ordering big canvases again for a while. I got to give myself a break because, you know, I'm a newbie and I kind of dove head first into this whole thing without sort of easing myself into it. And what I should have done was worked on a few smaller canvases and worked my way up to a big one instead of just, you know, doing my little owl painting, which was very small, and then immediately going into a one that was like 2.5 times the size of it. So anyway, that was my long way of saying I've taken a break from that canvas for right now, and I've started working on my very first square diamond painting. Very exciting. I started to work on that I'll Be Seeing You, which was one of the new Diamond Art Club canvases that I unboxed in my last Diamond Art Club unboxing video. Actually, I don't think it was new. I think it might have been recharted, but I think they had it before. I think they just, because it's a square with AB diamonds, so I think they just kind of redid it to make it look better. I don't know. But I loved the picture so much, and I really wanted to try the square diamonds before I got my custom, because I went with square. Obviously, I think Evermoment, that's the only thing that they do. But yeah, so I started it today. Dudes, I love it. I really love it. I'm still learning. I've only got like 1 square done. But I love that you don't see so much of the background like you do with the rounds. I like that when you do like a square, a whole section, it looks like they fit together right. Of course, when you're first doing it, they look all wonky and I wasn't getting them on there straight, but yeah, I really am enjoying myself with this. So I'm glad, because I have a lot of square diamond paintings. So it would suck if I really didn't like doing them. Yeah. So, speaking of Diamond Art Club, and I always talk about them at least once in all of my videos. Anybody planning on getting any of the new releases that are coming out next week? It seems like every time I make a WIP and chat, I'm talking about new Diamond Art Club releases coming out the next week. Believe it or not, or maybe you will believe it because I just said it a little while ago, but no, I'm not really going to get anything this time. Number 1, I think I have somewhere around like 20 Diamond Art Club canvases sitting. All right, no hate, people, no nasty comments about all the money I've spent. I am well aware, okay? But you know what? As Stitcherista says, you're not the boss of me, okay? But not only that, but like I said, they primarily put out a lot of really big canvases, and the ones that I would be interested in getting would be really big. So yeah, I'm not gonna put myself through the frenzy of making, or, you know, like having to be online at exactly the moment they go on sale. Otherwise, they're sold out. There's nothing that's coming out or that they got back in that I just absolutely have to have right now, which is good. Yeah. Yeah, but if any of you guys are really excited about anything coming out or something that came back in, let me know. Also, tell me what you guys are working on. What is your WIP that you're working on? Because I really hope that those of you who watch my videos, you actually are working on your canvas and listening to me babble, because that's what I always do. I just find it very relaxing just to put on YouTube, find one of my favorite diamond tubers, and diamond paint for a while, because it feels like you're doing it with a friend, you know? It feels like you have company. You have a diamond painting buddy. That sounds stupid, but you know what I mean. Yeah. This green that I'm using right now, I've never in nature seen an elephant this color green. It's almost like a dark lime color. But you know what? I'm just going with it. Because right now, the canvas is okay. I can see the symbols, and the adhesive is alright. And I'm hoping that the 310s are the only drills that I have problems with, because these green ones are fine so far. So I'm just going to keep going. Like I said, it's a 30 by 30. It's not that big. And I guess I still have hope that it'll look good when it's done, when it all comes together. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I start a vacation, it takes me a good day or so. Jesus. That drill just had a mind of its own. It takes me at least a good day or so to start to unwind and not be so like keyed up and in the mindset of being at work. Yeah, this week especially, or this time especially, because I have nobody, and my boss has been telling me for months that he was going to hire help for me in my department, and he still hasn't done it. Every other department in the store has gotten help except mine. And as a friend of mine told me, because I'm saying this because the ad changed today and there was no help. So it was basically my backup and the very, very unreliable backup to the backup. And there was a lot of tags, a lot of price changes. And it was probably a hot mess. I'm surprised I didn't get like 20 text messages by 8 o'clock in the morning. But as a friend of mine pointed out, well, maybe if this turned out to be a hot mess, it will prove that everything that I've been saying for the last several months is true, that I do need help, and this stuff doesn't get done by itself. So I just know when I go back, oh God, I don't even want to think about it, but when I go back, there's just going to be so much more work for me to do, which is fine. Because I'm grateful to have a backup. And he actually does know what he's doing. He's very, very good at the job. It's just his problem is he's very lazy. Here's another story for you. I know you love my stories, especially my boring work stories, but I promise I will keep this one brief. When I came to this store, I was supposed to go to another store. I was supposed to be placed, when I got the position, I was supposed to be placed at a different store. Our company had taken over another store, another chain of stores, and I went to the store that I was supposed to be working at to help transition it over into our company. And I worked there for 6 weeks. And I was supposed to have that store. And then the woman that used to have my job at the store that I'm at now was also there. And she wanted the store we were working in because it was a lot closer to her house. So the man who gave me my job, who's the district manager, told me that I could either stay there and take over this enormous store, like it's 3 times the size of the store that I'm in now, or I could go to this little store that's slightly closer to my house. And it being my first time I would be on my own as a scan coordinator, I decided to take the smaller store. And while I do not like the store that I'm at, and while I do not like 75% of the people that I work with, which is horrible for me to say, but 1,000% true, I know that I made the right decision. Because I would be driving almost an hour each way to the other store, whereas I can get to my store in like 25 minutes. And it's not as big, so there's not as much to do. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, the reason I brought that up is because my backup, he just assumed he was going to get the full-time position when the other scan coordinator left. But he didn't. They gave it to me. And he has been very bitter about that since I've been in the store. And for a long time, we didn't get along at all. He had some very unkind things to say about me to other people in the store, and he was naive enough to think that they would not get back to me. But as every adult knows, that doesn't happen. You talk about people behind their back, it invariably gets back to them. And it did. We're kind of okay now, but yeah, he's ever since then, he's always been sort of, he does just enough work to the point where he doesn't get fired, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but he's very lazy, and he chooses to be lazy. So I know he's not happy that I took my vacation now, because I put in for my vacation before looking at the calendar to realize that it actually led into the Memorial Day weekend. When I put it in, I wasn't looking at my calendar. I just did it thinking it was the week before. Because like I said, it's a staycation. It's not like I had plans and needed a specific time. But I had already put it in, blah, blah, blah. And considering the last 2 times that I tried to take a vacation, I ended up having to change the dates because of the store. I wasn't changing it again. I just wasn't. My boss is not happy with me that I'm taking off that week, or this week I should say now. But you know what? Our grocery manager ended up having off just about the entire month of December. And he also coincidentally decided to take his vacation the week of the last 3 center store inventories. Nothing was said to him. So you know what? Why shouldn't I be able to take a vacation? Yeah. Okay, I'm just like double checking. Oh God, these J's are like never ending, man. They're everywhere. Okay, so how many of you out there watch Game of Thrones? It's another subject that I think I talk about on just about every video that I make. Okay, humongous spoiler warnings. Considering the last episode is on in a couple days, I don't really think it's necessary to have a spoiler warning, but I know people are very sensitive about that. So spoiler warning, I'm not going to get into detail, but I will be talking about a couple of things that happened in the last episode. I'm kind of conflicted because I know so many people are so pissed about how this season has gone down and how it looks like it's going to end. Personally, I liked the Battle of Winterfell. I really liked that episode, even though it was very dark and I felt kind of claustrophobic almost watching it. I thought it was really well done. I was surprised that not as many people as I expected died in the episode. I also quite enjoyed the second episode of the season, which was the one right before the Battle of Winterfell, because it was a very quiet episode. It was mostly character driven, where, you know, a bunch of characters who haven't seen each other in a long time sort of come together, and it's the calm before the storm, to get all cliche. I really liked that episode. The other two, not that much. And then this past week's episode, which was, wait a minute, it wasn't called the Battle at Winterfell. I think it was called The Longest Night. Whatever. Anyway, this past week's episode, episode 5, where all the, pardon my French, where all the shit got real. I really enjoyed it as much as you can enjoy seeing the things that happened in that episode. I was angry only about one aspect of the show. The main thing that everybody's freaking out about, I called it before the season even started. I called it last season. It wasn't last year, it was 2 years ago, last season. I figured that's where it was headed, because I always kind of got the impression that this particular character was going to turn out to be not so good, just from reading the books. But there was one aspect that I was very, 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 very disappointed in, and this is the only spoiler that I will give. So if you don't want to hear, fast forward the video for about like 20 seconds. Okay, I was annoyed with what happened with Cersei and Jaime. I love Jaime. I loved him even when he was, you know, bad Throbrand from the window Jaime, right up until this last episode. Yeah, and I just think, and Cersei is such a hateful character, and she's done such horrible things. I just think that they both deserved a much better send-off than they got. I thought it was very weak and sort of tacked on. So that was really the only thing that I was upset about. Everything else, kind of could see it coming. So, but do you guys have, how the heck did I get 2 drills at the same time that were not attached to each other? So do you watch it? If so, what did you think of episode 5? What did you think of the whole season? What do you think of this petition that people have out to rewrite and redo the entire season? I think it's quite silly, because, I mean, I don't care how many people sign this petition. There's no way that HBO would ever do something like that. It's ridiculous. You know, with all the other things that are going on in this world, all the other terrifying things that are happening, you're gonna freaking sign a petition to get a TV show to redo a season because it's not going the way you like it. It's not ending the way you wanted it to. Give me a break, people. My God. I wish that was the only thing I had going on in my life that could occupy my time. Anyway, kind of think I know where the finale is going to go, but it is what it is. And I think it's, Tom was saying this last week. I don't think that there's a way to make every fan happy no matter what they did. There would always be somebody annoyed with what happened. So kind of almost think that I'll be happy when it's done, so I can actually go on Facebook and not have every other post be about Game of Thrones. Anyway, I actually think I might be done with the Jays, y'all. Oh, fudge. I just saw another one just as I said that. Wait, let me check the time. 45 minutes. All right. So much for keeping this short. You know me when I start babbling. So I'm very happy because I've started reading again. Well, at least listening to audiobooks. I finished, speaking of Game of Thrones, I finished the first Game of Thrones book, which I've read before. I read years and years ago and actually forgot quite a bit of it. I think I enjoyed it more this time. So I finished that, and my next book is going to be Last Stand for Dead Men by Derek Mandy. He is the author of the Skullduggery Pleasant series, which not very many people in America have heard of it, but I believe it's quite popular in Europe, especially in Ireland, where he is from. Derek Landy. Did I say Derek Mandy? I used to work with a dude named Mandy. Paul Mandy. I don't know. I can't explain my brain right now. It's Derek Landy with an L. Yeah, and I used to be super into those books about 6 or 7 years ago, before I moved in with Tom. I think I read the first 6 in a row within a month, and they're, with the exception of the first 2 or 3, they're really, really big, 500, 600 page books. But yeah, I'm gonna listen to the audiobook of that. Plus I have the actual physical book, but I like doing the audiobooks right now. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah. Because I could just put my earphones on and listen as I dive and paint. So I feel like I've got the best of both worlds. And I think that right there might have been the last J. God damn it. No, it isn't. There's another one right there. Jesus. Oh. That might have been the last J. You know what? It's the last J for right now because I feel like doing another color. I'm not going to sit here for 45 minutes doing one color. Yeah. All of a sudden, man, the tiredness has hit me. Kind of like you hit a wall. Wow. I'm just going to go for a couple more minutes and then I'm going to get ready for bed. Jeez, my goodness. What time is it? It's 10:30. Wow. That is late for me because I get up usually at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work. I get up at 3:30. What am I going to do? I'll do K's. Here's K. Oh wait, I gotta put this away first. Duh. Okay. So I'm curious, you guys. I think I asked this before and nobody responded to my question. Do you guys work on multiple projects at once, or do you stick to one? Because I know when I first started, it was my intention just to do the one at a time. But I like having two because it sort of, I think it'll keep me from getting burned out. Although I still got burned out on the I Miss You one. But I think that had a lot more to do with the size than anything else. And I was thinking today, if I got intimidated by the size of I Miss You, what am I going to do when I'm trying to work on my customs? Because all 3 of them are bigger than that. Customs, I don't know. I'm kind of nervous about one of them. The two that I got from Houlican, They're both Discworld pieces. Discworld, for those of you who don't know, is a series of books by Terry Pratchett. It's my favorite series of books, and Terry Pratchett is my favorite author. And the first one that I ordered is this picture of a bunch of the characters from the series. So I knew I needed to get it big in order to have any kind of detail whatsoever. But I still think, even though I went with a big size, I went with a 60 by 80, I think, or no, 60 by 90. I don't remember. And I'm using my phone, so I can't check. I have a feeling it might still be a little blurry, so I'm a little nervous about that, but my other two, I think, are going to be really cool. The second Discworld is just another one of a bunch of characters with some really cool artwork, and just from the preview that they sent me, it's gonna look amazing, so hopefully it'll actually look like the preview. Yeah. And then the one that I got from Evermoment, oh my goodness, it's gonna look so awesome. It's gonna be, I don't know what the piece is actually called. I should look that up, but it's actually I actually don't think it's officially supposed to be Game of Thrones. It's just a similar theme, and I think it's gonna look great. I'm sorry, you guys. I like I said, I kind of lost my mojo there. All of a sudden, it was like the day sort of kind of caught up with me, because I did a lot of running around earlier. Alright, I wanted to try and finish doing K's, but I think it'd probably be best if I sort of wind down here in the next few minutes. See if there was anything else of an urgent nature I wanted to talk about. Oh, I did get more China mail over the last week or so. I've gotten 3 packages. I'll probably film the unboxing tomorrow. I think I know what all 3 of them are. I'm pretty sure I know what they are. Oh, and I'm all proud of myself because I've gotten a notebook, a little pocket notebook that I am now keeping track of all my diamond paintings in. When I order them, where I order them from, how much I paid for them, how long it takes to get here, blah, 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 the condition, the shape, pretty much everything. I've seen other people do it, and I think it'll make keeping things straight and organized much better for me. Yeah. Alright, you guys, I think I'm going to end here. Didn't really accomplish very much in this painting today, simply because it was just that one color, and they're pretty much spread throughout the entire thing, because, you know, elephants are green now. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I know, I'm really, like, I'm probably not being fair to this canvas, because, like I said, you can't really tell what's the finish. Like I said, once I fill this in, this is a good chunk of the elephant. I should be able to have a good idea of what this is going to look like. But I don't understand why the majority of the colors for the elephant are green and like mid-brown tones. Just I don't get it. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for keeping me company for a little while, and I really hope you managed to stick it out and not fall asleep and have your head bounce off the table and send your drills flying all over the room. Yeah, I'm getting loopy. I need to stop. Okay, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video, and I will talk with you very soon, guys. And as always, happy diamond painting.